Hola, ¿qué tal? Bienvenidos a su cuarta sesión de marketing digital. El día de hoy lo vamos a hacer de forma digital, eh, ya que no me encuentro en la Ciudad de México. Voy a una consulta para ver la situación de mis ojos, pero bueno, eh, estoy con todo el ánimo para poderles transmitir la idea de esta sesión, de la cuarta sesión, donde hablaremos de las principales tendencias del marketing digital y cómo el contenido del video está teniendo gran importancia. El pasado jueves estuvimos hablando sobre las principales tendencias que tenemos a nivel global del marketing digital, cuáles son las principales redes sociales, cuál es su grado de penetración que tienen a nivel global. Sin duda, pues se parecen mucho a los niveles de redes sociales que tenemos aquí en México. Pero ahora vamos a hablar sobre las tendencias del marketing digital y cómo vamos a empezar a aplicarlas nosotros en esta clase. Bien, permítanme compartir mi pantalla en este momento. Y me dirijo bien. Aquí ahora sí ya encontré el archivo que no podía abrirlo, pero bueno, déjenme abrirla. Bien, ¿qué es lo que está pasando y cuáles son las principales tendencias del marketing digital? Bien, fíjense, ¿por qué es importante conocer las tendencias del marketing digital? Bueno, pues para identificar desde qué punto de partida tenemos que estar iniciando dentro de nuestras estrategias. Nosotros nos podemos estar apartados de lo que están haciendo nuestros competidores desde el punto de vista del marketing digital. Por lo tanto, tenemos que estar conociendo cuáles son las principales tendencias y identificar las mejores prácticas y tratar de adaptarlas a nuestras empresas, para nuestros productos y o servicios. Tenemos que plantear metas a corto plazo con estas tendencias, comunicar estas tendencias en mercadotecnia a nuestro equipo de trabajo y pues llevar esto lo más pronto posible a nuestras estrategias. ¿Cuáles son las 10 estrategias de marketing digital? Bueno, el marketing omnicanal, la nueva regla. Ahora, ¿a qué se refiere esto? Que todo los diferentes canales de comunicación de mercadotecnia se están unificando los contenidos, ¿ok? Entonces, ¿con qué finalidad? Con la finalidad de, pues, que todos se alineen a la misma estrategia, ¿ok? Y llegar de una forma más fácil a nuestro mercado meta. Muy bien. Se busca lograr unificar los diferentes canales en una sola estrategia y así mejorar la experiencia del cliente. Bueno, segundo, TikTok llegó para quedarse. Bueno, TikTok es la red social preferida. Incluso pasado jueves estuvimos hablando cuál es el nivel de penetración que tiene a nivel global. Desde los últimos 3 años se ha convertido en la quinta red social más importante a nivel global. Con una gran penetración. Entonces, para hablar más sobre el tema, el año de TikTok se destacó dentro de las empresas, pues el alcance y crecimiento y el nivel de engagement que tiene esta red social es muy importante. Muy bien. Entonces, ¿qué estrategia tenemos con TikTok? Bueno, pues la característica que tenemos en TikTok es que mostramos de forma específica el contenido que queremos dar a conocer de una forma humorística. Son videos muy cortos, máximo. Estábamos viendo el pasado jueves, 60 segundos. En 60 segundos tenemos que captar máximo la atención de nuestros posibles consumidores. Pero bueno, a lo que quiero llegar es a la sexta tendencia, video marketing, la nueva normalidad. Ok, ¿a qué se refiere esto? Tenemos que estar produciendo videos como parte de nuestro contenido. Como mencionamos en lo anterior, la tendencia TikTok creó una nueva forma de interactuar con los usuarios, pues los hábitos de los consumos tuvieron algunos cambios. Esto quiere decir que el video vertical con una duración corta en mayor uso, pues debes captar en pocos segundos a los usuarios, ya que se mantienen un tiempo limitado en un mismo video después de buscar y consumir otro contenido. Entonces, si esta es la tendencia, nosotros tenemos que estar adaptándonos a las tendencias que presentan los mercados. Nuestros contenidos se tienen que adaptar de igual forma. Entonces, la tendencia en marketing digital para el tema de videos es realizar contenido corto con formato de storytelling y en vertical. Esto resulta con una excelente idea, pues según Google, YouTube Short tuvo un aumento de 1.500 millones de usuarios y 1.500 millones de usuarios y 30.000 millones de visualizaciones diarias, considerando que YouTube no era la plataforma de videos verticales y en los últimos años ha vivido un mayor crecimiento en edición vertical. Bueno, esto es una señal que convierte a esta tendencia en una increíble oportunidad para interactuar, estrategia y publicidad en este formato en diferentes plataformas y aplicaciones. Bueno, ¿a qué voy? Nuestra misión el día de hoy, sábado, ustedes van a tener que crear un video corto con base al modelo AIDA. Ok, ya estuve explicando la clase anterior. Vamos a buscar con nuestro video primero atraer la atención de nuestros internautas, despertar el interés con el contenido que estemos elaborando y presentando. Y además, llevar o despertar el deseo de que adquieran nuestros productos y servicios. Todos los seres humanos tienen un conjunto de necesidades que tienen que ser satisfechas. Tenemos que identificar cuál es el tipo de necesidad que va a tener nuestro público consumidor, si son necesidades fisiológicas, son necesidades de seguridad, necesidades de pertenencia, de estima o de autorrealización. Y nuestros productos, ¿cómo pueden llegar a satisfacer ese conjunto de necesidades? Una vez que ya despertamos el deseo de los consumidores para adquirir nuestros productos, entonces vamos a llevarlos a la acción. ¿Cuál es la acción? Pues la acción es que compren y que además no solamente compren una vez, sino que sean nuestros clientes constitucionarios. Es decir, y posiblemente también se puedan convertir en embajadores de nuestra marca y de nuestros productos. Bien, entonces el primer paso es, se van a dirigir el día de hoy a una gran plataforma que estuvimos hablando el pasado jueves, que es Anchor. Entonces aquí les voy a enseñar cómo dirigirse a Anchor. Déjenme compartir mi pantalla. Ahora ya no estamos aquí. Vamos a abrir una nueva pestaña y vamos a abrir Anchor FM. Ok, en Anchor FM es una aplicación que desarrolla Spotify. Entonces, para poder crear podcasts, ustedes tienen que registrarse con una cuenta de Gmail. Yo ya estoy registrado, entonces voy a buscar iniciar sesión y me voy a ir a la parte donde menciona que voy a entrar con mi correo de personal. Déjeme ver. Quiero empezar un podcast. Bueno, entonces aquí tengo esta forma de poder accesar. Hasta el final viene la forma de accesar. Esto es para los que no están registrados. Aquí tendrían que registrarse. Yo ya estoy registrado, entonces voy a iniciar sesión con mi cuenta de Gmail. Lo que no recuerdo si es mi cuenta personal o la cuenta de universidad. Déjenme. Voy a probar con la cuenta personal. Sí, es con mi cuenta personal. Bien, entonces aquí ya estoy abriendo la aplicación. Entonces te damos la bienvenida a Spotify for Podcasters y crea tu primer episodio. Entonces hagámoslo. Bueno, aquí ya tenemos pues diferentes iconos que nos da Anchor. El primero pues, es un micrófono donde ustedes ya van a poder grabar el mensaje que ustedes van a tener previamente con base al modelo AIDA. Tienen que pensar qué es lo que quieren decirle en este podcast. Máximo de 30 segundos. Ahorita vamos a hacer un podcast de 30 segundos y posteriormente le van a agregar imagen, pero primero necesitan crear su podcast, ¿ok? Entonces vamos a ir al micrófono. Les va a preguntar permitir usar el micrófono de la computadora y ustedes le van a decir que sí, ¿ok? Entonces permitir. Aquí ya le estoy dando autorización para que use mi micrófono. Van a grabar. Hola, esta es una prueba de Anchor para hacer un podcast publicitario para un producto o servicio. Detengo la grabación, entonces ahí fueron 13 segundos. Se está cargando. Bueno, en lo que carga, les puedo mostrar el ejemplo que les puse a sus compañeros el pasado jueves. Hola, ¿qué tal? Este es un podcast para mostrarle a mis alumnos del MBA, del CU, de cómo utilizar esta gran herramienta que es Anchor. Anchor es producido por Spotify para el desarrollo de podcasts en el desarrollo de anuncios publicitarios para redes sociales. La gran ventaja que tenemos con Anchor es que no necesitamos tener grandes equipos de edición para mezclar audios, sino de forma automática ya nos dan todas las herramientas para poder desarrollar un podcast de alta calidad y a un menor costo. Espero que les sea de mucho agrado. Bien, entonces aquí ya se está cargando, ya está terminándose de procesar. Como ven, el podcast tenía música, entonces aquí ustedes tienen la opción de agregarle música, ahí donde están las notitas musicales. A mí me gusta la música alegre que tiene Anchor, perdón. Sobre todo para producir aquí estos podcasts de ejemplo. Lo que me gusta es que toda esta música la podemos utilizar sin problema porque no tiene derechos de autor, entonces para cualquier proyecto lo podemos utilizar. Entonces, la música que ustedes seleccionen, le dan doble clic y en automático se va a cargar al podcast. Aquí está, mire, ya se cargó el ejemplo. Hola, esta es una prueba de Anchor para hacer un podcast publicitario para un producto o servicio. Ahora vamos a agregarle música. Le voy a dar doble clic. Dice aplicar. Y ya lo está procesando. Y ahora sí, ya está terminado mi podcast. Hola, esta es una prueba de Anchor para hacer podcast publicitario para un producto o servicio. Bueno, una vez que ya tengan su podcast, van a tener que descargarlo. Aquí dice descargarlo en audio y el archivo va a estar en formato MP3. Bueno, una vez que ya tengan su podcast, en formato MP3, van a tener que mezclar con imágenes de su producto o servicio para el cual van a hacer su video publicitario. Entonces, van a tener que mezclar ese audio con imágenes. En el mundo de Mac tenemos varios programas, pero el que viene por default es iMovie. Ustedes pueden crear videos publicitarios con iMovie, que es muy intuitivo estos programas. También son muy parecidos en Movie Maker en el mundo de Windows. Entonces, unido a este video que les estoy produciendo, les comparto algunos ejemplos de cómo producir con iMovie y con Movie Maker sus videos publicitarios. También les adjunto en este mismo video el modelo AIDA aplicado a marketing digital, y su misión será entonces tener un video publicitario de 30 segundos que tendrán que producirlo este fin de semana y me lo comparten vía correo electrónico y lo vamos a poder ver su proyecto el próximo jueves. ¿Ok? Entonces, esa es su misión este fin de semana. Les adjunto los videos de cómo producir videos con iMovie y Movie Maker. Que tengan un excelente fin de semana y quédense a checar los videos que les acabo de mencionar.
Hey guys, Dusty here with another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can start a podcast and run a podcast absolutely free using the platform called Anchor. If you go to anchor.fm, as you see here in the URL, you will be presented with their homepage here. And it says here, obviously, the easiest way to make a podcast ever. So with their newest update, Anchor's always been a great and innovative way to listen, produce, consume audio content, but they had a couple of issues. One of those issues is that, after you uploaded an audio clip, it was gone within the first 24 to 48 hours. Well, now with their new update, they're basically becoming an audio host for podcasts. So basically, for no charge at all, you can upload your audio to Anchor, provide them with your podcasting art, and they will do the work for you and distribute your audio to all of the podcast players like iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, all of those places where you want people to consume your podcast. So in order to do this, you need to obviously sign up for Anchor, and they've got a great mobile app, and the beauty of Anchor is the ability to record from your mobile phone if you don't have a microphone. So if that's something you want to do, you can do that with Anchor. It makes recording much easier. I recommend I'm somewhat of an audio snob, and I don't necessarily like it when I record from my phone because it doesn't sound as good and I can't produce it in my audio editor. But if that's all you have, Anchor allows you to do that very simply. So go ahead and click the green Get Started button here, and then once you do, you'll be presented with the ability to sign up for an Anchor account. Now, the first thing you want to do is you can see here, you can view my profile. It shows you kind of the podcast that I have here on Anchor. If we go to the settings tab here, we'll be presented with the information page about our podcast. So as you can see over here on the right, I have my podcast artwork over here. The name of my podcast is Entrepreneur's Minute with Dusty Porter. You can upload your cover art right here. Click this link, click that link like that there, and then just upload your cover art for your podcast. You've got a place to put your podcast name, your podcast description, as well as your Anchor profile URL, which mine is just anchor.fm/Dusty Porter. And then I have a podcast author, which is me. The category is business. And then down below is where things get a little interesting. And this is kind of where the update came into play. If we click this link here, you can see that I can have Anchor basically distribute my podcast to all of the different big players in the podcasting consumption world. So we have it on Anchor. We'll be able to have it on Apple Podcast or iTunes, be able to have it Google Play, Spotify, Overcast, Pocket Cast. So all of these places here, I'll be able to distribute my podcast absolutely free. Now, normally you would end up paying someone like Libsyn or a host to host your audio, and then you'd pay them monthly to basically distribute that to the big players that we just saw here. But once you have your podcast recorded, once you do all the work on the audio side and you have this information here, you can go ahead and click on the new episode button and basically upload an audio clip that you've pre-recorded, which is what I like to do, or you can record it like I could press record right now. If I do this here, it will allow me to record a segment here. It'll allow me to go here to messages and see people. As you can see here, I have someone, Eileen, who's actually left me a message here on Anchor. I can go to history and see the episodes that I've uploaded there. I can also click the pencil icon, drag those around. I can add to those episodes. So it's a great interface if you're just getting started into podcasting. Now, it's to be seen if I will recommend this over, say, Libsyn or a designated audio host, because you have a little more control when you pay someone to host your audio. But as far as what I'm seeing right now, as you can see, the dashboard here lets you know how many plays your audio is getting, how many times your episode's being downloaded. There's a lot of good going on here. I think as they continue to update, I think we'll see Anchor continue to be more and more relevant in the podcasting space. But if you're just getting started, if you've always said, I want to start a podcast, then I think Anchor may be a good resource for you to go. And obviously, being that it's very inexpensive, you can basically get your feet wet in the podcasting world, basically get distributed to all the big players in the podcasting space, basically for no overhead. And so I think that's where Anchor is above the rest. So let me know what you guys think below in the comment section below. If you're interested in my podcast and you're an entrepreneur wanting to grow your business online, check out the Entrepreneur's Minute podcast. And guys, until next time, keep pressing record.
Hello, fellow marketer. Today I'm going to be going over the AIDA model framework when it comes to marketing. And the cool thing is how you can actually use this framework in so many different resources and ways and tools and spots on the internet for you to better your online marketing. The cool thing about this is that I'm going to actually be forcing a robot to do this for me. And in fact, if you want to follow along with me when it comes to using this AIDA framework, feel free to check out the link down below. If you click that, you'll actually get taken to a page where you can use this this newly name change software, Jasper.ai, and you'll get a free trial with it. And since it's my referral link, you'll also get 10,000 free words where you can actually follow along with me and use this. So given the fact that the AIDA is all about attention, interest, desire, and action, in this software, I'm going to be under the frameworks templates. And once I'm there, I'm simply going to click on this framework and then we'll go from there. So the cool thing about this software is that it allows you to enter the details and descriptions that you need. When it comes to this framework, we have the company and product name, we have the product description, and of course we have the tone of voice, which there are plenty of them for you to utilize. I'm going to do click to see more so I can scroll down a little bit more, but they have funny, casual, excited, professional, witty, sarcastic, feminine, masculine, bold, dramatic, grumpy, secretive, Optimus Prime, Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, Oprah, and Tony Stark. Either way, what I did is already come up with a few of these so I don't have to do them off the top of my head. Give me a second, I'm going to add them in and then we'll go from there. All right, so there we go. I came up with a random name. We have Sales Funnel Wizard. We have our product description. Sales Funnel Wizard is a complete online marketing software that helps you grow your audience, engage with customers, and boost online sales. And of course, we have tone of voice, which is going to be witty. So anytime you're wanting to use this AIDA, what you'll need to do is add in your own company and product name, whatever that may be, a little description, tone of voice, and let's click on Generate AI Content. Let's make this software do all of the hard work for us. Well, about 90% of it, seeing we had to add in the product description and whatnot. All right, so that took about, 10, 15 seconds, not too bad. Now, if you look right here, there's outputs 3. You can change this to as many or as few as you want. You could do 1, you could do 10, you can do 50, depending on how many words you want to generate. But if you have a look on the right here, we have attention, interest, desire, and action. So that's one example. There's 2 examples and 3 examples. Now, sometimes Jasper will, it'll fall off its rocker, so to speak. It is AI at the end of the day, so you might need to make some edits, but I've noticed a lot of these frameworks are really good. The more descriptive that you are with your description, okay, the better it's going to be. So if I just put Sales Funnel Wizard is a great online marketing software, that could be, aside from the fact that sales funnel is in there, well, that could be, what else? It could be email, it could be webinars. Sometimes it'll go off in a random direction just because it doesn't have enough information in the first place. But given the fact that this description is pretty good, let's actually look at the AIDA, the first one. So are you struggling to grow your audience attention? Interest, you're not alone. It can be hard to get people to notice you online, especially when there are so many other brands competing for attention. But with Sales Funnel Wizard, you can build a list of leads that will boost sales and increase revenue. We make it easy for marketers like yourself to find success online by offering the best marketing software on the market today. All right, I don't know about you, but so far that has been absolutely flawless. The flow of it, the details, everything that it talks about, benefits, interest, obviously. Let's move on to desire. So this is something that they're going to really want as a marketer. With our tool, we make it incredibly simple for anyone who wants to start building their own email list or generating more leads from social media sites like Facebook and Instagram. Our software is designed specifically with small business owners in mind because we know how challenging it can be to manage all aspects of your business at once. That's why we created this product, so that everyone has access to high quality tools without having to spend hours learning complicated code or hiring expensive developers. Now you have everything you need right at your fingertips. Last but not least, action, sign up now for a free trial of Sales Funnel Wizard. So maybe if this was your product, it didn't have a free trial, not a big deal, right? Because there's nothing in here that talks about whether there's going to be a free trial or not. So that would just be a very simple edit. But all in all, that was fantastic. And the cool thing about this framework is what I really like about it is that you can use this almost anywhere. Think about if you have a product or a brand or just something, even a lead magnet. Maybe you want to generate leads. Where can you use this? For example, this could be used on Facebook. This could be used on Instagram. Heck, and it could be used on any single social media platform. It can be used in videos. It can be used in descriptions of videos, actually in your video for the script. It can be used in emails. It can be used on landing pages. It could be used on sales funnels. You name it, pretty much anywhere. That's what it talks about, the oldest marketing framework in the world. There's a reason for that. It's because it's so applicable to just so many places, and you can just obviously keep adding more and more. Let's go down. Let's do one more just because these are pretty brilliant. I think you'll get the idea very quickly. So attention, are you looking for a new marketing software? Moving down the interest right under it, Sales Funnel Wizard is the best online marketing software on the market. It's packed with features that make everyday life easier, more entertaining, and more productive. It's the perfect tool for anyone who wants to do more with their business. And now it comes in 2 sizes, so there's an S, F, W for everyone. Wow, they even abbreviated. Sales Funnel Wizard, okay. Let's see, desire. You can use your finger to quickly swipe between apps or zoom into photos so everything feels fluid and natural on this larger display. With just one hand, you can easily reach content at the top of the screen without adjusting your grip or switching hands. You won't find another product like it on the market today. It's just not it's not just an amazing product, but also an incredible experience you can have every day of your life. Okay, so this one is where Jarvis is starting. Jarvis, they just name changed it to Jasper, so every now and then I'll say Jarvis, but this one, I think Jasper was drinking a little, okay? This is an example of sometimes, like these are actually things that you can, I guess you could say features or benefits of a software, so I don't blame it. Like it's talking about being able to swipe between apps or zoom in the photos. For example, that could be if this was being used on a mobile device, that's something you could do. So I don't blame it for writing something like that. The fact of the matter is that, like I said, you can always utilize multiple outputs. So even if something isn't that great, you just don't need to use that, or you can mix and match. Like you love that one, you can place that here. Anyway, the last is going to be click here now to purchase our awesome online marketing software. Let's look at the last one, okay? Do you want to grow your audience and boost sales? Sure, interest. Sales Funnel Wizard is a complete online marketing software that helps you do just that. It's the only tool on the market today with all of these features in one package, so it makes sense for you to try it out today. Let's go to Desire. With this powerful tool, you can easily create landing pages without hiring an expensive web developer or designer. You can also build email lists and send automated campaigns to subscribers who are most likely to buy from you. If that wasn't enough, we even have tools built into our platform that help increase conversions by up to 300%. That means more leads for your business and more money in your pocket. Action. Click here right now and sign up for a free trial of Sales Funnel Wizard. So I don't know about you, but that was really good. Aside from this one right here, which I wouldn't blame it too much because that could be like a desire, a feature or benefit. This was a very good showing of Jasper and how they can actually use AI to help you utilize the AIDI framework for your online marketing. So I hope you got some value out of that. It's cool how you can pretty much just make it do exactly what you want. Just one tip when using this will be very easy, whether it's going to be your brand or product name, or maybe it's a lead magnet, whatever it is, have a name. Just make sure you're as descriptive as possible. You get up to 600 characters. I used 141. So the more you use, the better it's going to be. You know, the more it's going to realize, all right, this is a sales funnel software. It usually comes with this, this, and that. And you'll probably get less of those things that you don't want to read or just probably would edit out in the first place. But overall, a really good showing. I hope this helped you out. Once again, there is a link down below. It's going to be a unique link for a free trial, and you also get 10,000 bonus words when you go through that. So you can actually use this. You can use all the other templates and other frameworks to kind of make this software do a lot of your marketing for you, which is really cool. Either way, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy this software.
Hola marketers, vamos a ver cómo convertir nuestro archivo de audio del podcast en un vídeo que nos sirva para convertir en YouTube o para moverlo en redes sociales para promover ese programa. Hay básicamente tres opciones. Tenerlo estático, es decir, copiarle una foto en el archivo de audio, sumarla para guardarlo en MP4, después lo vemos. Una opción un poco más avanzada es crear un audiograma para que al menos haya movimiento y YouTube no se enfade. Y la opción más pro, más óptima probablemente, que sería grabarlo en vídeo para que así realmente tengas un vídeo que enseñar cuando lo subas a YouTube. Como la estática ni la recomendamos, vamos a empezar primero explicando directamente cómo hacer un vídeo con audiograma. Un vídeo con audiograma es esto.
Sino usos legítimos de la marca, y es decir, tú eres un distribuidor legítimo que puedes vender una marca, pues adelante. Tú eres un falsificador o un pirata, pues no vas a poder. Exacto.
Básicamente es sumarle a una foto estática algo en movimiento, que son las ondas de sonido de la conversación que se está escuchando en el podcast. Esto se ha hecho bastante popular buscando un poco el no caer penalizado por el algoritmo de YouTube. ¿What? Queremos decir que al final YouTube es una plataforma de vídeo, y si ponemos vídeos con una foto estática, YouTube tonto no es y acaba detectando que eso no es un vídeo natural, es algo que estás forzando un archivo de sonido para convertirlo en vídeo. En la práctica notarás que no se posiciona tan bien porque YouTube es consciente de que a la gente no le gusta ver esos vídeos estáticos, con lo cual el audiograma es una especie de triquiñuela para engañar al algoritmo de YouTube. Sabiendo que es una triquiñuela, es cierto que más o menos funciona. En orgánico no va a funcionar tan bien como un vídeo real, pero funciona mejor que un vídeo estático. Entonces, ¿cómo hace la gente este famoso audiograma? Los hay que manejan de programas de Adobe y todo este rollo y lo hacen en After Effects. Genial, por ti si sabes hacerlo. No es nuestro caso, así que busquemos un poco más soluciones sencillas. Hay quien se va al lado más cutre y lo que hace es capturar pantalla en el móvil o incluso capturar pantalla en el ordenador, dándole al play al programa, con lo cual hay algo que se mueve, que es el play del programa de reproducción, o si tienes ya un Windows Media Player o cosas así, pues se mueve, ¿vale? Genera movimiento, es cutre a dolor, pero genera movimiento, no hay que juzgarlo, funciona para ese objetivo de engañar un poco a YouTube. Volviendo a los audiogramas, hay una herramienta que se llama Wave, W-A-V-V-E. Esta, para nosotros, pasaríamos de ella porque es súper limitada en su versión gratuita y ni tan completa en la de pago. En la gratuita te deja como máximo 1 minuto y además con marca de agua, con lo cual está pensado para compartirte un vídeo en redes sociales. Te arregla el arrebato de moverlo a Instagram, pero poco más. Con diferencia, la que recomendamos sin lugar a dudas es Headliner. Headliner es súper sencillo de usar y además tiene una versión gratuita amplísima que te deja hasta 10 vídeos al mes, que ya es sin marca de agua, infinitos si tienes la marca de agua de Headliner, y con archivos de MP3 de hasta 500 megas o hasta 2 horas de archivo. De hecho es muy sencillo, veremos ahora opciones que permiten meter hasta subtítulos, se sincroniza con tu podcast, está muy currado y además eso, que en gratuito te da un servicio muy potente. Vamos a ver, veréis que es muy sencillo. Haríamos el sign up, el login, lo que sea, en plan, nada nuevo. Al entrar tenéis, ¿vale? El hechicero, si quieres, esto es para clips, ¿vale? Para cosas breves, para redes sociales. Pero aquí ya te dice episodio completo. Te permite lo de transcripción de vídeo e incluso que se haga automáticamente, rollo que tú le das cuál es tu podcast y él te lo recoge, ¿vale? Esto lo veremos también en otra sección. Es decir, que está muy, muy pensado ya para esto que estamos hablando. Pongamos el ejemplo en full episode. Aquí te dice, engancha tu podcast, MP3 o WAV de hasta 500 megas o 2 horas. Si no, encuentra tu podcast. Y aquí ponemos Marketing for E-Commerce, buscamos, nos encontraría y escogerías cuál es el episodio. Escogerías cuál va a ser el ratio de imagen, ¿no? Si en vertical para móviles, cuadrado o ordenador, si estás pensando más en YouTube. Escogerías plantilla, te da unas plantillas por defecto, que puedes escoger entre estas directamente y después editarlas. Si no, si tienes una tuya propia, imagínate en nuestro caso, subes una imagen, aquí ya recoge el automático del podcast, pero si no, puedes sustituirla por una tuya. Aquí la tienes, entonces esto ya está, cerraríamos. Te da a escoger la forma de la onda, esta es la que está por defecto, puedes cambiarle el
color de fondo, puedes ponerle modo circular y que se amplíe, es decir, hay como varias opciones en la discoteca, puedes escoger dónde quieres que se ubique, el tamaño, salimos de aquí.
Te permite cambiar el fondo si tu imagen no ocupase todo el fondo, o ponerle texto si al final quieres hacerlo aquí, no te traes un JPG, y directamente darías exportar. Esto te llegaría al email, le darías exportar y esto igual tarda más o menos lo mismo que tarde tu grabación, es como un rollo, igual 1 hora, si duran 50 y pico minutos, y te llegaría el email con el enlace a tu vídeo. En Project tendríamos los proyectos que ya hemos convertido, entonces aquí tendríamos el que hicimos con esta prueba. Podrías descargarlo, moverlo a Twitter, redes sociales, tener el enlace, subirlo a Dropbox, pero ya si queremos la prueba, vemos cómo funciona, ¿no? Teniendo disponible una herramienta tan potente gratis como Headliner, el que aún estés pensando en convertir el MP3 o el WAV a un vídeo con un fondo estático es para molerte a palos. Pero ok, no vamos a juzgarte, vamos a explicarte también cómo se puede hacer esto. Esto sin duda, si tu podcast lo editas con una herramienta estrictamente de audio, GarageBand o Audacity, pues ahí no lo vas a poder hacer. Necesitas un programa de edición de vídeo. He estado buscando programas de estos de conversores de MP3 a MP4, pero al final todos son programas que hay que descargarse. En la gran mayoría están muy limitados en versión gratuita, así que he pasado de esa vía, ¿vale? Lo normal es que uses un programa de edición de vídeo que te vale el Windows Movie Maker, ¿vale? En ese nivel. Nosotros os lo vamos a enseñar con Camtasia, que es el que usamos nosotros para los vídeos, pero quedaos con la idea de que es exactamente igual en cualquier programa de edición de vídeo. Vamos a verlo. Lo estamos probando con Camtasia, ¿no? Todos los editores de vídeo son más o menos similares, ¿vale? Todos tienen una sección media, que es donde se guardan los clips. Entonces aquí importaríamos un clip, un archivo MP3, nos aparecería aquí, carga el audiograma, curiosamente, que es estos dibujos. Lo vamos subiendo aquí. Claro, es largo, puede tardar un ratito, ¿vale? ¿Qué tendríamos que hacer? Subir otro medio, que sería esa imagen que queremos convertir en el fondo estático. Esa imagen la pondríamos en otra línea distinta de la del audio. Y aquí ya estaría ocupando el espacio del vídeo. Es tan sencillo como arrastrar. Si es muy largo, pues se arrastra mucho. Y así tendríais ya el vídeo con una foto de fondo. La tercera opción, y realmente la óptima si en el fondo quieres que los vídeos sirvan para algo en YouTube, sería no convertir los audios en vídeos, sino hacerlo al revés. tener el vídeo y convertirlo, exportar solo el audio para el podcast. Esto lo hacen muchas veces los podcasters cuando coincide que hacen directos, ¿no? Pues hacer algo en directo en YouTube, entonces como ya me estoy grabando, pues ya lo dejo subido y después eso lo vuelco a MP3. Cuando no son en directo suele dar un poco más de pereza y es normal porque en el fondo la calidad del audio cuando haces directos de vídeo no es la misma que si lo grabas con un Zencaster, por ejemplo, que es una herramienta específica para podcast, para audio, que os comentamos en un vídeo anterior. Porque este tipo de herramientas pues graban todo en bruto, sin separarte canales, tienes menos opciones de edición y la calidad del sonido que te llega es sin duda peor. Por lo cual muchas veces la gente prima la calidad del audio. Ojo, lo que está pasando es que ya empieza a haber herramientas muy interesantes que te permiten hacer las dos cosas, emitir el vídeo o grabar el vídeo y además tener una buena calidad de sonido. La herramienta que os recomendamos para esto se llama Riverside, riverside.fm, que por 30 € al mes te permite lo mejor de Zencaster, que es lo de que te grabe el audio en local, que te permita la separación de las pistas y además te permite grabar el vídeo o incluso emitirlo ya en directo, para esto todo moverlo a redes o moverlo a YouTube. Pues aquí tenéis Riverside, aquí ya os pone el ejemplito, ¿no? Os hace las ganas de estamos en una llamada, cada uno hablando de su casa. Vamos a lo importante, el pricing. Esto todo es de pago, bueno, se puede probar de gratis, pero está limitado a 30 minutos una vez. El solo audio sería 15 $ al mes. Esto sería como el equivalente a Zencaster y en ese equivalente es más caro, pero después tiene esta opción que Zencaster no tiene, que es audio más vídeo y que sería hasta 10 horas al mes de audio y vídeo, que te separa los tracks de audio y que te separa los tracks de vídeo, para después si quieres cortar a alguien una tos o lo que sea, siempre tendrás esa opción de editar. Ok, esto no es gratis, pero realmente llegado a un nivel sin duda compensa. Y si no, la matriz de decisión sería, ¿quiero gratis y me importa mucho la calidad del sonido? Pues bueno, te vas a, haces el sonido por un lado y después te montas lo del vídeo con audiograma, como explicamos antes. ¿Quiero gratis y bueno, la calidad del sonido no me obsesiona? Pues entonces grábatelo con un video chat, crowdcast, el YouTube en directo y así tendrás un vídeo de verdad. ¿Por qué decimos esto? Porque al final es comprensible que la gente prefiera ver los vídeos de verdad, aunque solo sea por ver las caras, los gestos, las reacciones. Entonces, todo lo demás son paliativos. Bueno, como no lo tengo, le pongo audiograma para engañar a YouTube o le pongo la foto estática. Pero asumamos que esos son paliativos. Espero que os haya resultado útil. Creo que por lo menos herramientas como Headliner o Riverside serán, espero, alguna sorpresa para muchos de vosotros. Si es así, dejadnos un like, poneros un comentario diciendo si os es útil, suscribíos que es gratis y nos vemos la semana que viene.
This is the complete guide to editing with iMovie on Mac. We're going to be covering a full iMovie tutorial running through a video editing project step by step to show you exactly how to use it, including some of the more advanced features, the tricks and effects to help you create better videos much faster. So you've made it here, so you already know that iMovie is a great option when it comes to video editing software on Mac. Now, while it's always been relatively easy to pick up and use, there has been some big improvements in the last few years that mean that it's not just great for beginners, but even some more experienced editors too. So whether you're brand new to iMovie or you've been using it for a while, we're going to cover everything you need to know, all the key features to be aware of, plus a ton of tips to help you maximize your efficiency along the way. Now, if you have been using it for a while, then drop a comment down below while you're watching to share your #1 tip for using iMovie to help those out that are newer. Okay, so here we are in iMovie. Now, this is the first thing you'll see when you open up the program. Any of your previous projects will be in here, or if this is your first time opening it, then you'll just have this option here to create a new project. So we're going to click on this one now, and we're going to select Movie. So a quick rundown on the interface here. Over here is where you can access all of your files, your photos, and your video assets. Up the top here, you can switch between your media, your project files that you're using, your audio, titles, backgrounds, and transitions. Now we will be covering these in more detail as we go through. Over here is your playback window, or where you can preview your masterpiece that you're editing down, and you've got some tools and controls and things across the top here. Below that, we've got our playback controls here to play, to skip forward to the next clip and back to the previous clip. We can also maximize our playback if we want to play back our video full screen. And we can record a voiceover for our video by pressing this button here. Down the bottom here, we've got our timeline. This is where we're going to be editing our video down. We've got a settings button up here, which is going to give us our project settings. And now if we want to go back to our projects area to select or switch between different projects, we can click up here. And right up in the top right-hand corner is our export button to save out our video. So that's a quick rundown on the overall interface. Let's start editing. So the first thing you want to do is to import your primary video footage. So we can come up the top here to File, Import Media. We can go ahead and then select the files that we want to use. Now you can either go in and individually pick the files that you want. You can hold down Command to select multiple files, or in this case where everything that I want to use is inside of this folder, I can select the folder and hit Import Selected, and all of those files and folders that are in there are going to be brought in. So now we've imported those files into our project, and we can access those at any time up here under Project Media, My Movie. Okay, from here you want to import your primary footage, your main camera angle, down into your timeline. And we can just click and drag to drop that entire clip down. Before we get into the actual editing, it's a good idea to come over to this settings area here now that we have a clip down in the timeline, and we can customize up what this looks like. So we can adjust the clip size to make it a little bit bigger if you've got a big screen. And we can also specify if you want to have the audio waveforms on or off. So for me, I personally like to have them on as I'm going to be editing down videos where there's a lot of speaking involved. Now at any time, if you want to zoom in and out on your timeline, we can grab this little slider here and zoom in. Or we can use the keyboard shortcuts Command- and Command+ to zoom in and out. So let's go back to the start of our clip here now and start trimming this down. So let's assume that we want to have our video start at this point here and remove everything up until that point. There's a couple of different ways that we can do this. We can press Command-B on the keyboard, and that's going to blade or to split our clip in two. So I now have a left clip and a right clip. So we can remove this first one by pressing Delete on the keyboard, and now our video starts right at that point. Now if I undo this, Command-Z, Command-Z, another way that we can do this is by selecting our clip. We can grab this left handle here. You can see our cursor changes, and we can drag this across to where we want our video to start. So just before I start talking. So let's go across to the end. I'm going to zoom out, come and click on the end of the video here, and then we're going to zoom back in. So we're finished speaking here, and that's where we'll want to finish the video. So I can again grab this end handle, I can drag it back to where we want the video to finish. So now let's say we want to remove this big gap in the middle here. I can come back across, and again we can blade or split our clip at this point, Command-B. Now I could come over here and add another cut and delete that section, or again I can just grab that handle and slide it back to where I want that clip to start. So the idea here is that we're going through and we're using a combination of splitting our clips, using that blade tool, deleting clips, or adjusting the in and out point or the start and finish time of these clips until we're just left with all the best takes and all the things that we actually want to use in our video. So you want to go through now, remove any bad takes, any mistakes. So all we're left with at the end here is all the best takes and the footage that you actually want to use inside of your edit. Once that's done, we've essentially got a heap of little clips here on the timeline. Now, if you want to pick something up and move it around and adjust the order of these, we can just click and drag on a clip and we can drop it back in wherever you would want it by moving these chunks of content around. So now we've got the primary footage sorted. The next step is to bring in any overlay or B-roll footage into your video. So I've got a couple of extra clips up the top here. Let's grab this one here and drop it down onto our timeline. But instead of dropping it down the bottom here, we're going to drop it on top of where we actually want it. So now if I'm just moving my mouse cursor past here, we can see that I'm talking. Then at this section, we've got some overlay footage, and then it will go back to me talking afterwards. Now these clips will work just the same as regular clips. We can adjust the start point and the end point. So let's say that we wanted this to start about here. Then we could add a cut, Command-B, and then we could start it again from here. So let's remove that section before it. Press Command-B to add a cut. Let's select this piece and remove that. And let's have this play through until it's picked up until about here. So we can just shorten that clip back to where we want it to finish. And then just like all of our other clips, we can pick these up, we can move them around so that they're showing where we want them to in our edit. So you want to go ahead and add in any B-roll or overlay footage into your edit at this point. From there, we're going to add in any titles or graphics that you want to use in your videos. So let's come up to the top here to titles. And in here, there's a lot of different presets and things that you can use to literally drag and drop onto your video. If we put our mouse over, we can see that some of them are animated, whereas some of them are just static titles. For this one here, I'm just going to grab a basic title. Let's go this one here, reveal lower third, and I'm going to click on it. I'm going to drag it down onto the timeline where I want that to appear. And we can see it shows up there as its own little clip. Now I'm going to zoom in on this section. Again, just like any other clip, we can pick it up, we can move it around, we can adjust how long it's going to be on screen for by using the handles on the edge. So we're going to use this as a name card that will come on screen. So the video will start and then the title will appear down the bottom for that length of time. So to edit this, we just want to double click on it and then we can select the text up the top here and type in what we'd like. Let's type in Justin Brown. Now up here, we can adjust the colors, we can adjust the fonts as well. And we've also got the size here too. So let's make this a little bit smaller. And you can see now if we scrub through, then this one has an effect on it. Kind of fades on screen, slides across a little bit, and then it fades back out. So really easy to add text into your videos, just dragging and dropping these presets at the top and then customizing them up as you need to. Now, if you are looking for something a little bit fancier, Clase is an amazing tool to help you generate motion graphics and text effects that you can easily then use in your videos. So in terms of a video intro, if we come back over here to my media, I've got one here that was quickly created in Clase. I can drag and drop that down into our timeline here. So we've got the intro piece here where I'm introducing the video. Then it would start playing a video intro and then back into our content. Now we have a full tutorial on Clase that is linked up in the cards. So now that you've got all of your titles in there, next up we're going to look at any transitions or effects if you want to use them in your video. So if I come up the top here to transitions, there are some pretty simple ones that are built in that again we can just click and drag and drop onto our timeline. Now with some of these things you really don't want to go overboard. Some of these can really cheapen your video, so I'd say use these sparingly, but the ones that I would normally use would be a cross dissolve and maybe a fade to black or a fade to white. But all we need to do is just to click and drag. Let's say we want the cross dissolve and we just need to drop it down between the two clips here. You can see we've got that square has appeared. We now have a transition between these two clips. So you can see with a cross dissolve, we're fading out from one clip here to the next. Likewise, if we pick a fade to black and drop that one down there in that spot, it's going to fade from one to black and then back to the next clip. Now in the case of this edit here, where we've got a talking head, me on camera, presenting on both of these clips, I really wouldn't be using a transition between the two because they look essentially the same. I'm going to press delete to remove the transition. And what I would do instead with one of our YouTube videos is I would zoom in on one of the shots just to make it look a little different, to make it almost look like it was a second closer camera angle, just to break it up a little bit for the viewers. So I'm going to select this second clip here. I'm going to come up the top to crop. Then I'm going to go to crop to fill. And then in here, when we resize this, this is what our finished, more zoomed in shot will look like. Now, depending on how you shoot your videos, this could lose a little bit of quality. So I would say don't zoom in too much or don't crop this down too much. But if we click off this now to see what this looks like, we've got the first clip that plays through, and then at the next one here, it's zoomed in a little bit. Now to really make this transition effective, ideally you're lining up your eyes. If it's a shot like this one where you've got a person in there, if the eyes are in the same place, it's going to be far less jarring for your viewers. So I'm going to click back on here now, go back to crop. Let's see if we can line this up a little closer. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it is a lot better. So it just breaks it up a little bit for your viewers instead of having a fade or a dip to white or dip to black. Now, in terms of other effects and things that you can add into your videos, let's just select this clip here. Now, if we come up the top, then you have a video stabilizer in here, which will stabilize any of your shaky footage. If you select on that, then we can select the checkbox here, and that will take a lot of the shake out of your videos. If you want to speed up or slow down a clip, then you can do that up here under the speed controller. And we'll get to the rest of the audio and color settings here very, very soon. Okay, so if we go back to the start of our video here now, the next step is to bring in any music that we want to have in our video. So you can come over here to audio. You might already have some music that is in iTunes or in your sound effects or something from GarageBand if you've already got it imported. If not, under My Media is where you can import your music files just as we did our video files by going File, Import Media, and selecting your music tracks. Now I already have two that I've added up here, so I'm going to grab one of these And I'm going to drop that down into our timeline here at the start. And you can see that it comes in as a green clip instead of a blue clip. This is how you can easily see which ones are music or audio files and which ones are video. Just like all of our regular clips, we can pick them up, we can move them around, we could adjust the start time or the end time in this case. We can come over here to the end, we can grab our end point and let's shorten it down so that it finishes when our video finishes. Now, if we move our mouse cursor over the music track here, you can see we get this little circle that appears. If we click on that and pull it back, we can actually create a fade out. So our music is going to play through here at 100% volume level until it hits this marker, and then it's going to start fading out. So it's how easy it is to add a fade out. And likewise at the start, if you want to fade your music in a little bit, then you can do the same thing by grabbing that circle. Now the process is exactly the same. If you want to remove a section of your music track, you could add a cut using Command B or the blade tool and shortening and refining your clips that way. I'm going to go ahead and undo that. So now that your audio is in, it's a good idea to play through your edit here, and you might find that you're making some minor adjustments, especially if you're trying to match some of your edits or some of your cuts to the beat of the music. Then now that your music track is in, you can start to refine and tweak some of these things so that it all flows. Next up, you'll want to adjust your volume level. So the first thing I'm going to do in this case is actually come down here and lower our music volume right down to nothing, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that our primary audio is set to the right volume levels first, and then we'll adjust the volume levels of our music secondary. The most important piece is that people can see us and hear us. So we want to make sure that our primary audio is set right first. So we're going to go back to the start here and let's get the audio set right on our first clip, and then we can apply that to all the other clips here all in one go. So we want to make sure that our first clip is selected. Here we're going to grab this little line across the bottom, which is our volume adjustment bar. And if we click and move it up, then we can see that we're increasing the audio, and if we lower it down, we're going to lower the volume. So where you want to get it to here, this is something that iMovie makes it simple but doesn't give you a ton of control over, is you want to get it to the point where you can see if we go too high, we're seeing yellow appear. I'll zoom in on this a bit more so we can see it closer. You can see we've got these little points here that are yellow now. That means they're getting pretty loud. If they go into the orange or into the red, that means that they are actually too loud and that's distorting and it's going to sound bad. You can see this piece here is into the red. So you definitely don't want to have your audio going into the orange or the red. If it's just every now and then just touching into the yellow, it's not going to be a problem, but definitely not in the orange or in the red. So you want to find that point for your individual clip where your volume is as high as it can be without hitting those points. Now, because our entire video here was all filmed at the same time, same camera, same microphone, we don't have to go through each individual clip and manually do this. Now we could, and we might find that some were a little bit louder than others, but what we can do is again, select our first clip, we can copy it, Command C, we can then zoom out, and let's select the rest of our clips here. We can come over to the side and we can just draw a box around them, and then we want to choose Edit, Paste Adjustments, and let's choose Volume. And that's going to increase our volume levels to match that across all our remaining clips. And then it's just a matter of doing a quick sanity check and checking out a couple of these louder parts that we can then see here are hitting the yellow and making sure that they're not going into red. Any of them that are going into red, we could just lower for that section. Now, in terms of audio effects and removing things like background noise, we can do this in here as well. So we'll select the clip that we want to make more adjustments to. We can come up the top here to this noise removal tool, and we can select reduce background noise. Or if you want to play around with the equalizer settings, these are very basic in here, but you do have some presets for boosting the bass or reducing the treble in this section here as well. And if we come across to the filters area, there's also some audio effects in here. If we select none here, then we can bring up some other effects here to create different sounding voices and echoes and different room atmospheres that we can add that effect on. So now that we have our video piece sorted, now we're going to bring back in our music. Now this is something that there really is no right or wrong with it. It is personal choice as to the volume levels you're going to bring your music in at. So we're going to grab that volume bar down the bottom. We're going to bring this back up. So if 100% is standard maximum volume, then where we normally start as a ballpark gauge is between 20 to 30% for background music in our videos. Now, obviously it depends on which audio track you're using. Some are going to be louder than others, but I'm normally starting around that place, and then I'm pressing play on the video and let it play through. And I'm going to listen, ideally with headphones on. So I'm getting a good representation of the volume levels and how everything sounds. And I'm listening to see see if the music is too quiet or too loud and too distracting. And then I'm making adjustments up and down from there. It really is personal preference. Then once you've got your audio added, the next step is to color grade or color correct any of your footage. Again, we're going to do this back at the start on the first clip, and we can then apply this to the other clips. So we're going to select our first clip here, come back up the top, and in here we've got a few different options when it comes to color grading. Under this color balance area, this is where you're really going to see some automatic adjustments. In my experience, they're not that great. So where I go to is this next one across color correction, and we're going to use these 3 sliders here to adjust how our shot looks. The first one here will control our overall shot brightness and contrast. So if we want to make adjustments to the bright areas of our shot, we're going to grab this white slider here, and we're going to move it. You see, if we move it one way, it's going to increase the brightness of the light areas, and we move it back, it's going to darken those down. So let's increase those a little bit here. Then we're going to jump across to the dark areas, little black circle here, which is going to let us adjust and brighten or darken those dark areas in our shot. So I'm looking at the light in the background. So let's say somewhere around there. From there, I'm going to grab this middle one, which is kind of your mid-tones, and make some minor adjustments here if needed to the overall look, brightness and darkness of the shot. Okay, so that's looking all right. From there, I'm going to come across to this end slider, which will really let us adjust our white balance. So if we pick up this slider again and we move it to the left, it's going to make our shot cooler or add more blue. Likewise, back the other way, we're going to add more warmth or more yellow or orange into our shot. So let's go somewhere around there. And this middle one here is our saturation, or how intense the colors are in our video. So if we select this one, drag it all the way to the left, it's going to remove all the colors. That's how we get black and white. Go the other way, it's going to amplify them. Look a little silly. So somewhere in the middle, but you might find that you just got some minor adjustments here to get the look that you're after. So let's go around there somewhere. So for a comparison, this is what our shot looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. Before, after. Now there are some built-in filters in here as well. If we come over to this area here, we can select clip filters, and you can think of these like Instagram filters. So if any of these are the look that you're after for your video, then feel free to use these as well by selecting on them. But normally this is something that I'm steering clear of. Once you're happy with your color grade, we can select our clip, we can choose edit, copy, and then select our remaining clips, zoom out. Let's select them all here. We want to choose edit, paste adjustments, color correction, and all of those will now have that same color effect applied. Now the same tools will work for your B-roll or overlay footage as well. Just by selecting on the clips, you've then got access up the top here to those same tools. So once you've gone through and you've color graded your video down, the final step is to save out your video, to export it. So I want to come up to the top right hand corner here and hit the little share button. In here, we can create an email friendly version of it. We can also save out a freeze frame or a image of whatever is on screen at this point. There's also direct export to YouTube and Facebook, where it'll save out your video to your computer. It will then upload it directly to those platforms, or we can choose export file, which will just save it out to the computer. So for me personally, I just use the export file feature here, and I'll make sure that everything is all good, and then I'll manually upload it to YouTube or Facebook or wherever the video is going to go. So we're going to select export file. You can give it a name if you'd like to. Then under video format, we want to choose video and audio. You can also select your resolution. So the default here, 1080p, is usually based off the video footage that you've been editing. So if you've been editing 4K footage, then it's probably going to say 4K here. But you can click on this and you can specify the quality that you want to output. Then once you've picked your video resolution, you can then set the quality for that resolution. So they've got presets for low, medium, high, ProRes, which is going to be the best quality setting they're saying here. It's going to be a much larger file size. So I'd say that most people are going to leave this here on high, but you also have the ability to hit custom and to specify the megabits per second or the quality of your video here as well. So let's just go back to high. And then the last one here for your compression, whether you're going to have a faster export or a better quality video. The better quality, it's actually marginal. You're not really going to notice much of a difference. So for me personally, I just leave it on faster. But if you are looking for the best quality video out of this, then maybe you'll want to pick better quality. Then you just want to hit next, choose where you want to have your video save out. So we're just going to go on the desktop, hit save, and that's going to save your video out. Now from there, you want to do a quick sanity check. You want to play back that video. Ideally, you're playing it back on multiple devices so that you know it all looks good, sounds good, and is the way that you want it. Obviously, if you've got any changes you need to make, you can jump back in here to iMovie, save those, and then save out your video again. But once you're happy with it, your video is complete. Now up in the top right hand corner here, we can see we've got our progress for our export or our video saving out. If we click on this, it's going to tell you what it's actually doing, and the estimated time here is 1 minute for this video. So that was a complete end-to-end walkthrough using iMovie. And again, the process that I took you through was the primal video method. So make sure you're downloading your free copy of that step-by-step process that you can now use in any video editing software, making your editing much faster and much more efficient. I'll see you in the next one.
Everyone, Kevin here. Today I want to show you how you can edit video on Windows 10 using an app that comes with Windows 10. Yes, Windows 10 includes a free video editor, and I'm going to show you step by step how you can take advantage of it. Now, if you're, say, running Windows 7 or Windows 8, you don't have to feel left out. You can actually upgrade to Windows 10 entirely for free. I have a link in the description that'll show you how you can do that. In the past, Microsoft used to include an app called Movie Maker on Windows 7 and Windows 8 that allowed you to edit videos pretty well. In fact, the first video that I have on this YouTube channel is a drone video of my hometown, Morristown, New Jersey, and I edited that video with Movie Maker. Yes, I'm not lying, I admit to it. I used Movie Maker to create my very first video, and it worked fairly well. It had lots of customer love, and it had a huge fan base. Unfortunately, Microsoft decided to discontinue the app, and for a long time, many people thought there was no free video editing tool that came with Windows anymore. That has changed. Microsoft includes a video editor, and it turns out it's actually bundled together with the Photos app. So we're going to leverage the Photos app today to edit video. Yes, that's right, the Photos app. Now, don't let that deceive you. The video editor that Microsoft includes as part of the Photos app is a fully functional video editor. You can do all sorts of things like trimming and splitting clips and reorganizing clips. And I'm going to walk through a sample video today. We're going to go ahead and edit it together, and I'll show you the full functionality of the video editor. The great news is you don't have to go out and buy video editing software. You don't have to search for free video editing software. Instead, if you're on Windows 10, you already have some awesome software to edit videos with. All right, well, why don't we jump on the PC and I'll show you first off how we could start using it, and then we'll edit a video together. Here I am on my Windows 10 desktop, and first off, I want to show you how we can open the video editor that comes with Windows 10. Let's go down to our taskbar, and within the search field, we're going to type in video editor. You'll see that the best match here says video editor. We're going to go ahead and click on that. This opens up the video editor that comes with Windows 10. The benefit of typing in video editor and launching that way is it opens the Photos app but drops us directly into the video projects view. If instead we had opened the Photos app, we would then have to navigate to the video view within the Photos app. So it's a little bit quicker going this way. On the main video editor screen, you have a bunch of different options, and I want to walk through what you can do here. In the top left-hand corner, and perhaps one of the most important things that we could do here, is we can kick off a new video project. When we click on this, this will drop us into a blank project where we can put our video together, and we'll do that in just a moment. Down below, I have all of my recent video projects. Here they're ordered by recency. Now over here under sort, I could select a different way to organize it as well. Maybe I just want to see the newest, or maybe the oldest first, or even alphabetical. So I could sort this view in different ways, and this helps me get back to video projects that I had been working on. Down below is another interesting view called Created For You. This is videos that the video editor automatically pulls together based on video clips and photos that you might have within the Photos app. Now let's go back up to the top and let's create our very own video by clicking on New Video Project. This drops me in a new video project, and first off, it's going to ask me to name my video, and by default it says new video. Now, a little bit of background before I start this video project. My wife, son, and I were recently in Mexico, and we stayed at a resort that had an amazing slide. So I'm going to go ahead and title this video Mexico Slide Adventure. Once you type in a name for your video, click on OK. This drops us into the main video editing interface. If you've used any other video editors before, this likely looks very familiar, or even if you're a graduate of Movie Maker, you'll likely feel very comfortable here. To give some overview of what we have here on the screen, over here in the top left-hand corner, this area is called the project library. This is where we're going to place all of our video clips and all of our photo files. We're going to use this to build our video. Over on the right hand side, this is a preview of the video as it starts coming together. Down below, you have your typical video controls like play or fast forward, rewind. Over here, we have a timeline progress bar that'll show us how long the video is, and we'll be able to scroll through it. And then down at the very bottom, this is perhaps the most important part. This is our storyboard. We are going to use the storyboard to start organizing and laying out our video. The order in which we put our clips down here on the storyboard will determine the order in which the video plays. I mentioned that I want to have a Mexico slide adventure video, and it's not much of an adventure if we don't have any content here. So let's get some content into this view. Right up here in the project library, to get content in, you have two different options. One, you could drag and drop content from, say, your desktop or File Explorer directly into the project library. Alternatively, there's also this plus button up here where we can add content. I'm going to use the plus button. When I click on that, I get a drop-down menu, and there are three different ways I can pull content in. One of them is by selecting content on my PC. This will open up a file picker. The second option is from my collection. So let's say you have a collection of videos or photos. Within the Photos app, you can pull them in to create a video from. And then the last option is to pull content in from the web. This will open up Bing, where you can then pull in images from Bing. In my situation, I have all of my videos and photos on my PC. I'm going to click on From This PC. This opens up the Windows file picker, and within here you can navigate to where you have your videos and where you have your photos on your computer. Luckily, the file picker opened up directly in the folder where I have all of my videos and photo files. I can go through and press the Control key to select multiple items, or I could simply click on the first, press the Shift key, and then simultaneously press my left mouse button to select all the photos here. Once I've selected all the videos and photos that I want to bring into the video editor, I'm going to click on Open. This adds all of my photos and videos into the video editor. Let's say that maybe I have additional videos or additional photos that I want to bring in. Once again, I could go into, say, File Explorer, I could drag more files in, or I could click on the plus button again and I can add additional files. Right now, when I look at my project library, these thumbnails are fairly large and I'd rather have them be a little bit smaller. Over here, I could control how I view all of these previews. By default, it's set to view medium. Instead, I could click on view small, and this will show me smaller thumbnails. Because I have a number of thumbnails, I'd rather switch to this view. That way I can see all of my different clips that I'm going to be building a video from. So I'm going to stick with this view. I have all my clips in the project library. How do we start pulling together a video? Well, the very first thing I want to do is I want some type of introduction or some type of title for my video. Down here on the storyboard, there's an option to add a title card. Let's go ahead and click on that. This now adds the very first item to my storyboard. I see my title screen right here. When I click on an object on the storyboard, I see controls that I can take related to that object. For instance, I could set the duration of my title. I could also modify the text, and I can modify the background. If I want to get rid of it altogether, I can also just trash it if I want to do that. Let's go ahead and click on text. Within this view, I want to type in a title for my video. By default, it simply says title. Let me go ahead and once again, I'm going to type in Mexico Slide Adventure. I have my title on here, but To me, this doesn't really seem that adventurous. It's just a simple font. Instead, let me go down and take a look at all the different styles that I can apply. Some of the styles, you'll see a diamond on them. This indicates that it's a premium style that you need to have a Microsoft 365 subscription for. However, all the ones, and most of them don't have diamonds, and anyone with Windows 10 can take advantage of these other ones. Now, nothing speaks adventure like the adventure style. I'll go ahead and click on this one. Now that I've selected an animated text style, I can also select a layout for it. Down below, I see 6 different layouts that I could choose. By default, it's title 1 or the center one. I could also place it on top, over on the side, or I could place it right in the center along with a few others. Now, I think this layout and this style look pretty good. What does it actually look like? Well, over here on the left-hand side, I see a timeline view, and here's a marker that shows me where I am in the animation. It's the seek marker. I'm going to go and pull this over to the left, and if I drag it over, I can see what the animation will look like. I'll bring it to the beginning and hit the play button, and we can see what this title looks like. Now that's pretty cool. Now I have a simple blue background. I think that doesn't quite speak adventure. So to change the background, if we go up to the top, I'm going to click on background color, and this exposes a whole bunch of different background colors that I can choose from. Of all these background colors, I kind of like this teal color down here. It looks like it's called Seafoam Teal. Let me select that. I think that matches Mexico and a Mexico slide adventure a little more, so I'm going to go with this color. If I don't like any of the colors that are presented here, I could click on this plus icon, and then I could choose a custom color, and I could pretty much pick from any color imaginable. Everything looks good now. I'm satisfied with the background. I'm satisfied with the text. I'm going to go ahead and click on done. Up here in the preview screen, I can now see the title that I added, and you'll see now that the video is only 3 seconds long. It's not much of a video.